The letter that changed everything. Xu Kai's apology to Tan Songyun goes viral. An emotional rollercoaster that has fans crying, cheering and believing in love all over again. No one expected it. Not the fans. Not the media. Not even Tan Songyun herself. But Xu Kai has done something that turned the entire entertainment world upside down. In a time where most apologies are typed out on cold screens and wrapped in public relations statements, Xu Kai did the unthinkable. He wrote her a letter. By hand. And it has changed everything. A heart torn by silence. After weeks of tension, unfollows, rumors of separation, and emotional silence, Xu Kai and Tan Songyun's once glowing relationship had crumbled into something cold and distant. They were not just lovers. They were parents. They had built a quiet little world together away from cameras and noise. And now, that world was falling apart piece by piece. Insiders say Tan Songyun had stopped replying to his messages. She would only speak through intermediaries about parenting matters. Even their son had begun to notice the change. A little boy who used to run toward the door at the sound of keys now asked, "Is Baba coming today?" Xu Kai could not take it anymore. He was filming on location in the mountains when he made the decision. It was 2 a.m. He sat in his trailer, surrounded by silence, holding a photo of his son and Tan Songyun tucked into the back of his phone case. And then he grabbed a pen. The letter that changed everything. The letter stretched across 7 pages. Each page was written with a shaky but determined hand. No assistants. No drafts. Just raw emotion. It began simply. "I know I am the reason everything fell apart." He confessed to everything. Not just the missed moments or the misunderstood photos. He spoke about the pressure he had placed on himself to be perfect, and how that pressure made him distant. He explained how he thought building a future meant always working, always pushing, not realizing that the future he was building no longer had her in it. "I saw our son call your name in his sleep," he wrote, "and it crushed me that he had no reason to say mine." He apologized for every birthday he missed. For every dinner she ate alone. For every look she gave him, asking for love, that he answered with silence. But the part that made Tan Songyun cry, according to her closest friend, was the ending. "If you can forgive me, I will spend the rest of my life proving that I have learned. I will not beg. I will not expect. But I will wait. Until you are ready. Until our son is old enough to understand. Until you believe again. I love you." I never stopped. How the letter was delivered. Xu Kai did not send it by courier. He handed it to one of Tan Songyun's longtime friends, the same person who introduced them years ago. This friend, shocked by the intensity of the letter, asked him one thing before agreeing to deliver it. "Are you ready to accept whatever happens after this?" Xu Kai nodded. The letter was delivered the next morning. It was left on Tan Songyun's windowsill, along with a photo of their son taken by Xu Kai during one of their early days as a family. She found it at dawn. And she read it alone. Tan Songyun's reaction. Those close to her say she did not speak for hours after reading the letter. She just sat by the window, staring at the skyline, their son asleep in her arms. Later that evening, she called Xu Kai. The first words she said were, "Why didn't you say all this before?" And he replied, "Because I was too afraid to admit I was wrong." They did not argue. They did not cry. They simply spoke. 4 hours. Like old friends rediscovering what made them fall in love in the first place. And by the end of the call, she said something no one expected. "Come see him tomorrow. He misses you." The viral moment. What made this letter explode online was not the words alone, but what happened next. Tan Songyun, ever private and gentle, decided to share a part of it. Not to brag. Not to prove anything. But because, as she later said, some people deserve to see what growth looks like. She posted a photo of the corner of the letter. A simple sentence, handwritten. "I was wrong. I am learning." And she added one caption. "Some hearts are worth healing." Within minutes, the internet lost its mind. Fans cried. Comment sections overflowed with support. Even other celebrities reposted the letter, some quoting it as the most beautiful apology ever written. The hashtag #ShuKaiLetter trended for days. Fan pages began analyzing every line. Couples shared it with each other. Single fans said it gave them hope. And for once, the internet was united not in outrage, but in admiration. Shukai's quiet return. The next day, Shukai arrived at Tan Songyun's home. There were no paparazzi. No fanfare. Just the sound of a tiny child screaming, "Baba," as he ran toward the gate. Tan Songyun stood at the door. No makeup. Just a soft smile. They hugged. Not tightly. Not dramatically. But like people who had missed each other for far too long. A new beginning. Since that moment, things have changed. They have not made any grand announcement. They have not declared themselves back together. But the signs are everywhere. A shared bracelet spotted on their wrists. A photo of their son's drawing with both parents featured. A recent interview where Tan Songyun paused before smiling at the mention of forgiveness. Even Shukai, when asked about regrets in his career, responded with one line. "I used to think work made me strong. Now I know love does." Final words. Relationships are not fairy tales. They are messy, loud, quiet, chaotic, healing. Shukai and Tan Songyun are not perfect. But their story is real. It is raw. And it is now one of the most powerful love stories the industry has seen. A letter changed everything. Shukai and Tan Songyun stun fans with unexpected reunion on live stage. "We never stopped loving." A kiss, a standing ovation, and a silent whisper that melted millions of hearts. No one saw it coming. Not the fans watching from home. Not the reporters stationed in the crowd. Not even the hosts on stage. But in the most dramatic and emotional twist of the year, Shukai and Tan Songyun just made their first public appearance together after months of heartbreak, silence, and quiet reconciliation. And they did not just show up. They walked in hand. The red carpet everyone thought they would avoid. For weeks, speculation surrounded the upcoming Golden Orchid Awards. Would Shukai attend? Would Tan Songyun show up? Would they sit separately? Would they avoid each other? Fans had accepted that the most they could hope for was a brief smile or an awkward wave from opposite ends of the room. Instead, the red carpet was set on fire. As cameras flashed wildly, Shukai stepped out of a black SUV wearing a tailored black suit with a silver pin that matched Tan Songyun's delicate hair accessory. Seconds later, she emerged beside him. Her hand slid effortlessly into his. Gasps rippled through the crowd. They looked at each other, and Shukai whispered something only she could hear. She laughed softly and leaned in. It was as if the world had disappeared and it was just the two of them again. The moment that shook the internet. Inside the auditorium, the energy was electric. They were seated beside each other, casually yet comfortably, like no storm had ever passed between them. Then came the biggest shock of the night. An unexpected presenter walked on stage, their son's godmother, actress Lee Chin, holding a sealed envelope and a grin that gave away everything. "And the award for Best On-Screen Couple," she announced, "goes to the pair whose story off-screen has moved millions more than their performance ever could." Shukai and Tan Songyun. The crowd erupted. Fans screamed. Some cried. The camera cut to their table. Shukai was stunned. Tan Songyun froze. And then she smiled. They stood up slowly, holding hands again, walking toward the stage not as actors, not as broken lovers, but as two people who had chosen to rebuild. The speech that no one will ever forget. They stood under the lights, the gold trophy between them, the entire hall holding its breath. Shukai took the microphone first. "I was scared to come tonight," he began, his voice slightly shaking. "I thought we were still not ready. I thought people might not understand. But she reminded me that love is not about looking perfect. It's about choosing each other over and over again." Then he looked at her. "She chose me again. And I will spend the rest of my life proving she made the right choice." Tan Songyun's eyes glistened. She took the mic next. "I almost stayed home tonight. But he wrote me a letter. And in that letter, he didn't promise me forever. He promised me growth. And that was enough." She paused. "And to our son, who is watching this from home with grandma, Baba and Mama are okay now. We are happy. The entire hall stood in a standing ovation. The kiss that closed the chapter. Just before they walked off the stage, Shu Kai did something no one expected. He gently placed a kiss on Tan Songyun's forehead. Soft. Sincere. Final. Not an act. Not for the cameras. But a quiet thank you. A silent promise. And the entire internet melted. Fans react in waves. The online world exploded within seconds. This is what healing looks like, one fan posted. They went through hell and came back together stronger. I am sobbing, another wrote. Even major celebrities reposted the clip. Some with emojis. Some with single words like respect or real. Their fanbase, once divided and confused, came back together like a family at a long-awaited reunion. Behind the scenes, the family waiting backstage. What many people did not know was that backstage, hidden from flashing lights, a small child was waiting quietly with his grandmother. Wearing a tiny tuxedo and holding a bouquet of flowers too big for his hands, he ran toward them the moment they stepped off stage. Shu Kai lifted him up. Tan Songyun kissed his cheek. And the little boy said only one thing. You look happy. They both nodded. So do you, Shu Kai whispered. The morning after. The next morning, Shu Kai posted a single photo on his official page. It was a picture of all three of them holding hands, walking backstage. No filters. No fancy captions. Just the words. We came home. Tan Songyun reposted it with a white heart emoji. Final words. They broke. They healed. They forgave. They chose each other again. And in doing so, Shu Kai and Tan Songyun gave millions of people a reason to believe that no matter how messy life gets, love can still be enough if two people are willing to fight for it. This was not just a reunion. It was a beginning. And the world is ready for the next chapter.